Hello, and welcome to 10-7 Off Duty Podcast. My name is Andrew Straley, EMTP, and with me is Clyde.
Hey.
Clyde's a racist, I found out.
Am I? This is something I didn't know about myself.
Well, last week, since we were talking about drinking and heritage, and you said you're Scottish, and yet your ringtone is diddly-dee potatoes.
Yeah.
So slightly. Just between the other kilted people. Does that make any sense? No? Yes, no, maybe? If that motherfucking ringtone goes off again, I swear to God.
I silenced it.
Are you sure? You said that the last few times.
I know. I said I thought I silenced it. I didn't make sure.
It's.
I actually made sure this time.
It's a good text tone, but I mean, Scottish man. That's not the potato people. We're the potato people.
The Irish.
Yes.
No, you're the potato famine people.
It's like Boondock Saints. You might have had a better time if you just drug a potato to the streets. Well, welcome back, people. We're glad you're all here, and you made it through St. Paddy's Day.
And my potato ringtone makes me laugh. Thank
I
you.
hope everybody made it through St. Paddy's Day, whether you were on the streets or not on the streets, and in the bar being part of the problem. So, what'd y'all do? I wonder.
Drank in excess. What do you think they did?
I always used to tell people when I had a weekend off, when I was getting off shift, I'd be like, this weekend I'm going to be part of the problem, not part of the solution. It works. I don't actually like to go out on like St. Paddy's Day and stuff. There's too many fucking people. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
I don't.
Dude, I'm not a bar goer at all.
Really?
No, I don't like bars. Too many drunk douchebags.
I also figured out I'd rather go to the grocery store in the morning so that way I don't have to deal with everybody else.
I'd rather go in the middle of the night.
My grocery store's not open in the middle of the night, so I can't do that.
Walmart is.
I don't do Walmart.
Dude, at 3 a.m. it's not bad. Like, you're like one of like 5 people in the store.
There was actually a story that was on the news recently. Apparently, Walmart has changed their greeter, quote unquote, like position to require them to have to lift a certain amount of weight. So they've been firing anybody who is disabled from a greeter position.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like vetoing on Walmart these days.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
Well,
actually,
they're gonna fuck themselves.
One of the local WalMarts had a paraplegic with like a birth defect. So she was in a power wheelchair and fired her because she wasn't able to lift anything. She can't even take care of herself, but that was like the only way that she was able to have some sort of income.
They're going to open themselves up to a lawsuit because any judge is going to look at him and be like, it doesn't matter if you change your protocol for the job.
Yeah.
She was there before you changed the protocol.
Well, and I thought the ADA had something to do with that too. If you had a disability, then they have to, especially if you work for a company, they have to.
What is it? Reasonably
accommodate
their disability or something.
Yeah. So they done fucked up, I think. But I didn't shop at Walmart to begin with anyway, for the most part. So
the only thing that sucks now about shopping at Walmart is because Fridays are my shopping days because that's payday.
Right.
Well, because my wife and I are both on first shift,
mm-hmm.
Usually shopping occurs between 4 and 6 p.m.
Yeah.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
Good Lord, so many stupid sons of bitches in there.
Yes. Well,
I miss night shift. I miss working night shift.
I don't know how many people know what a Kroger is, but around here that's the like local chain. On the East Coast it's Food Lion. On the West Coast it's, I don't know, some hippie bullshit.
Up in the Chicagoland area they're called Dominic's.
Yeah. I think it's all the same chain, but I'm not sure. But there used to be 3 Krogers in our area, and they closed one down. They closed one that was affectionately known as Crow Ghetto because it was in the middle of, well, not in the middle, but it was closer to like the ghetto-ish area. And every time you'd go there, it was always packed, and it would always have, people on food stamps with full carts and shit like that. Which I'm not knocking people on food stamps. By
One
the
of
way.
the funniest things at that
Krogetto?
Kroger, yeah, at that Krogetto, I looked at my son and said, "You ready to play Daddy's favorite game?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's called Dodge the Crackhead." And as soon as I got him out, he yelled, he said, "Let's play Dodge the Crackhead!"
Oh,
Dude,
God.
they're over there like meandering through the parking lot looking like fucking zombies.
Yeah.
They all kind of like look at you at the same time. Looks like something out of The Walking Dead when they hear a gunshot.
Or,
They're like, change.
no, sir, you're high enough already. I'm gonna have to Narcan you later. Stop. Yeah, but they closed that one down, which meant that now they have migrated to the other two Krogers. So both of the stores that I would normally go to are fuller than they ever have been, and it pisses me off because they don't have enough lanes.
And here's the fucked up part about those three Krogers. One was Krogetto.
Uh-huh.
The other one just had horrible customer service.
Yeah, right.
The one on the north end, horrible customer service. And then the one out here was the only one that was any good. And
Yeah.
it's significantly smaller than the other two.
I walked by some chick in Kroger the other day that I swear I got a contact high because she just smelled like pot. It was like, did you smoke on the way here, or have you just been blazing up all day?
See,
Never go grocery shopping high because you're already hungry. Stop it.
I remember getting out of the car and getting my son out of the car, and
Get
two
a fucking
girls
grocery
walk
shop.
by spritzing themselves with this fruity smelling shit. They're like, they won't be able to smell it out through this. And as I walk by, I smell pot. I look at Tasha, and I'm just like, "Can you smell weed? I smell weed." And they're like, "Oh my god, you just smell it." They're like talking to each other, and I'm like, I smell weed. It's coming from that area over there.
I am thoroughly surprised that her cart wasn't just full of Funyuns.
God.
Or like mac and cheese or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Now, granted, I will take shots at potheads, but I am very pro legalization of marijuana.
Me too. Just don't go out in public with it. It's like,
The way I look at it, it's like drinking. If you do it responsibly in your own home,
exactly.
then whatever, kudos to you. But nobody wants to see a drunk asshole at Walmart, so nobody wants to see a high asshole at Walmart.
Because the drunk asshole at Walmart's going to be pissing on all the tents and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to take any like pot shots at pot heads.
Punny.
But that wasn't intentional. Sometimes it just works out in my favor. But yeah, it was I don't know.
Sometimes I just give myself a job.
I don't people well. That's my problem.
I understand. Wholeheartedly, I understand.
I'm like a hermit. If I'm not working, I'm at home, then I venture out every once in a while and hiss at the sun.
What was it? A friend of mine actually asked me, like, "Clyde, you always seem like you're a happy guy, man. Why are you always so happy?" And I'm like, "You want to know my secret?" And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't like anyone." And they're like, "What?" I was like, "There's a very small group of people I'll call my friends. There are people that I know and I can hang out with.
Right.
But for the rest of them, I really don't like them." And they're like, "Well, how's that make you happy?" I'm like, "Because I've given up on making them happy, so fuck it." I'm here for me.
I told one of my buddies this the other day. It was, you know that old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? No,
Yeah.
Keep your friend group small so that way your friends can help you kick your enemy's ass.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true. That, and you know when one of them starts acting a little weird, like, what's going on with this guy?
Uh-huh. Right.
Something's on his mind.
Yes, exactly. This is not MySpace, people. You don't have to have 10,000 fucking friends.
What was that? I saw something the other day. It said, MySpace was savage. You could literally rank your friends.
True dat. You can do that on your own, too. I have no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about today, because it's been... Okay, for everybody that's out there listening, normally we record this thing like 3:30, 4 o'clock, right after Clyde gets off work, so that way, you know, he has time to do shit. This is nighttime. The sun has gone away.
Yeah, no, it's after 8 right now. My mother-in-law tripped over a toy in my son's room today and landed on his bed and destroyed his bed frame.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's okay. That was one of the
That's
first
not what
things
I'm worried about.
Well, I had to go to the store and buy a new bed frame.
Didn't
and
you
then
just
assemble
get
it.
that one?
Kinda. We got it from a friend of Tasha's.
Okay.
And it used to be a bunk bed. It was just like the one part.
Right, yeah.
And then a lot of people don't know this, but bunk bed mattresses are actually just a little different than regular mattresses.
There's no box spring.
Exactly.
It's got wood slats underneath of
Exactly. And so it automatically just kind of just drops right on top, like the little pegs that come off the bed frame. Well, because it was no longer a bunk bed, they added wood slats in there. So, I mean, this thing was just kind of like held together by the hopes. Hopes and dreams. Well, and a lot of fucking screws. Like, Jesus Christ.
Right.
But,
I actually have a bed frame from a bunk bed. Because I used to sleep on a futon when I was at my folks' house. Yeah. So they bought me a new twin size mattress and frame. Well, it was cheaper just to get a bunk bed and then take the top off of it. So that's what I had for a bed frame for a long time.
I'm not even gonna lie. I love my bed, but that is one thing I miss about being single.
What's that? Twin size bed?
No, I had a futon in my bedroom when I was a teenager. It was actually a really nice one. It was black suede. It was a $400 futon.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. Like you could fold up the back just like a regular futon, and then fold up the sides on one side of the futon, so there'd be a couch with arms.
Right.
Or you could just drop it into a bed again, and then just fold up the one side, so it was like an incline bed.
Nice.
Oh, it was fucking awesome. I love that bed, man.
Yeah. Well, that's
it.
I got a futon in my office. This thing is comfortable as fuck, by the way. Just saying.
Yes, it is. First day I met you guys, I sat on it.
Yes. When you were fiending for a cigarette.
Hardcore. I'm like, if these two sons of bitches don't shut the fuck up.
Fuck off, Clyde. Now
well, I was not aware there was no smoking in the house until after we were hanging out for 2 hours, and then we recorded for another hour. So I'm just sitting there like, oh God. I don't know these people. There's no cigarettes allowed. All I'm smelling is the nicotine in the air from their vape smoke.
Yeah. All you had to say was puff, puff, pass. Somebody would have handed you a vape. I'm just saying.
Yeah, at the time I didn't vape, though. It choked my ass out.
Right. So, I don't know. Anything new with you besides...
Dude, this has been one of the busiest and most uneventful weeks of, like, my entire life. Like, there's only been a couple of things going on. I'm really heavy into the buy-sell trade in our little
area.
I don't strictly stick to our city, but I don't go too far out into the suburbs.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to drive 45 minutes one direction to trade, a fucking power drill for whatever.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to do it. If they want to drive to me, they can go for it.
Exactly, yeah.
But unfortunately, trading or bartering has become such a alien thing to people nowadays that a lot of times I have to be the one to initiate it.
Right, yeah.
I've actually been initiated for a trade like twice, and I'm not gonna lie, 9 times out of 10 they're pretty solid trades, and I take them in a heartbeat. But not all the time.
Right, yeah.
But this week, I had a guy just decide randomly he was going to back out on a deal on me.
Yeah.
And anybody that buy-sell trades that listens to this, you know how much that sucks. Like when you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to sell this or I'm going to trade it, I'm going to do whatever has to get done. And then like last second, they're like, yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. And you're like, well, you're a son of a bitch.
Yeah, totally.
Because I've passed on like 3 other people.
Right.
So, fuck you.
That's why you always like keep those other people in your back pocket just in case.
I know. Usually I try to, but sometimes, depending on what you're buying, selling, or trading, by the time you get back to them, they already found something else.
Yeah, totally.
Like, if you're selling a wrench set,
yeah,
like a decent wrench set, chances are if you don't get back to them right away, they found somebody else with a wrench set.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that like I've told you before, and well, I've helped you before, but if you're a friend of mine, I will help you out with your car as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like, bring it over. I'll help you fix it, or at least have the tools available so that way you can do it. Whatever you want to do. Well, yesterday, one of my old EMS buddies I used to work with, both the first service and not the last service, but the service before that, I used to work with him. He's a really good guy, really funny guy, always awesome to hang out with. So him and his wife and his daughter came by, so that way I could help him try to figure out what was wrong with his car, right? Because he said every time he'd hit a bump, you could hear something rattling in the driver's side.
That's weird.
Okay, well, there's a lot of things that it could be. Maybe it's a shock. Maybe it's
none of it's supposed to be rattling.
Right, exactly. you could have a bad, bad
except for the
hub
rattler
or something like that.
That usually trips people up.
Right.
The driver's side rattler.
Yeah, your blinker fluid's low, something like that. So he brought it over, and kudos to his wife. Like, his wife is pretty awesome because she brought over a crock pot of corned beef and cabbage. And that shit was fire, dude.
Yup.
Like, we were close enough to St. Patty's Day. I was like, I am in the mood.
My wife can't stand it.
What?
Cannot stand corned beef cabbage. And she is Irish as hell.
I can't believe that.
God, Irish as fuck. Like, only thing she's missing is, like, the ginger hair. Like, she's got, like, auburn hair, which I guess is, from what I've read recently, is technically more common in Ireland to have, like, an auburn.
Right, yeah.
Instead of, like, a bright red like they show on TV shows.
Uh-huh.
And freckles, blue eyes, like, Irish as fuck.
Right. Yeah, man. Maybe she just hasn't had any, like good homemade shit or something.
She's had it. She's not a fan. And me, I'm not even Irish.
Yeah.
But for some reason, my family celebrated it every year like we were.
St. Patty's Day?
Yeah. Because celebrate every year like we're Irish. Like corned beef and cabbage every year.
Everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day, man.
Dude. It's honest. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't know if I'm Irish or not. Okay. I have no idea. That's one thing I don't know. We know we're Scottish.
Right.
We don't know if we have any ancestors that lived in Ireland, though.
Right.
So there's a chance.
Right. Everybody's fucked somebody from somewhere at some point. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he brought his car over. We were having a good time. Like, jacked his car up. And he was worried that it was going to be like a tie rod end or something like that. And jacked his car up. Finally got his tire off because it hadn't been off.
And it was the rattler.
Always
goes out.
Kind of. It was the last coil on his spring on the driver's side snapped.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
There was a piece of spring sitting inside, like, in the coil spring. So every time he'd hit a bump, that little piece of spring would just rattle around in there.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that was the easiest free fix I have ever been a part of. Like,
I keep thinking of like a blown light bulb when you shake it after it blows.
Yeah.
And here's like ting 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 ting.
I like that blew my mind because I was initially thinking, I'm like, all right, well, I don't know how maintenance savvy he's been on this thing, so I'm like, I hope it's not going to be a couple $100 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then take the tire off and it's like, that's not supposed to be there. And pull it out.
So let me get some needle nose pliers real quick. Doink. All right, get on the road. Leave my house.
No, because we were still eating. I had 3 plates.
Leave the crock pot.
I had 3 fucking plates of corned beef and cabbage. My poops yesterday were amazing.
I said leave. I said leave the crock pot.
I feel sorry for anybody that's going to be like in EMS for the next 3 days or today when we're recording this, because it is a fucking full moon out there. So
could have been worse,
guys.
Could have been a full moon on St. Patrick's Day.
Dude, that would have. Well, technically, it kind of falls into the 3 days before, 3 days after. So I'm pretty sure some weird shit happened.
Oh yeah. Now, for anybody out there who thinks we're just being superstitious, maybe we are. But any first responders out there know.
I
weird shit happens on the full moon. Like I don't know if there's any science behind it or if it is just a superstition.
Crawl out of the fucking woodwork,
dude. The inmates at the prison would go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And especially if the full moon landed on the time of the month.
Oh, that's the perfect storm.
Good. Yeah, perfect. My ass.
I mean,
so much goddamn paperwork.
That's when you just like. That's when you just like SWAT up and do the full fucking get up for the SWAT team, man. Like pads and full face helmets and riot gear and all that
I
shit.
can't tell you how many times because I was actually on third shift for a while. And
wait! You just open the doors to the freaking pod and toss a box of tampons in there, like clear.
No, I can't tell you how many times when I was on third shift. After they should all have been in bed. Full moon, time in the month, dude. I'd hear freaking out, and I'd sit at my desk and yell as loud as I could. Somebody better be getting their ass beat or dying in there, because if I get up, you're all gonna suffer for it. Silence. Cool.
All right.
A couple minutes later, screaming again, like I'm not fucking playing with ya.
Oh my god. No, thank you,
dude. Every night for like the week, dude. It would get bad.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times a couple of fights got broken up.
Really? No shit.
Oh yeah, and some of them were like really good friends. It just like went crazy. Especially especially ones that went to Medline for like antipsychotic medicine.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude, it's like why the fuck do they pick that week to start cheeking their medicine?
I'm telling you, dude, it's fucking psych patients are just go fucking crazy crazier whenever the fucking full moon comes.
I just thought of a story about corrections that I've never told in the air.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. My very first week there, we found heroin.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
How in the fuck did they get it into the jail?
Yes, nobody knows. To this day, nobody knows. Yeah. It was black tar heroin. We found it was literally what was left of it was about the size of a pencil eraser.
No shit. I wonder how much it was to begin with.
A lot, because 2 people were fucked off their ass.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, enough for 2 people to get fucked off their ass. I mean,
right.
But they'd also been locked up for a couple of months apiece. So, I mean, may not have needed that much.
Right, yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't
put it in the old
what
prison locker.
Another inmate did. I'll explain that one in a second. But I'm going through my on-the-job training at this point. Because I just gotten out of the academy. Just started. I was literally there for a week. Like,
so you're still on FTO and all that.
Oh,
bullshit.
dude, man, OJT, like, dude, it sucked. I remember sitting there just watching movies about the proper way to handle inmates, and the lieutenant that was in charge of it was in charge of like 9 things where he literally did not have the time to be training new cadets.
Really?
He didn't. He just didn't. But they still put him in charge of it. So, like, every 5 minutes, be like, well, just watch this movie. I'm going to step out for a second, come back a half an hour later. Like, all right, now that that's over, it was over 27 minutes ago. But whatever. We just kind of kicked it. But I remember at one point in time, he walks out and he's like, all right, all of you got to come with me. And we all get up and we walk out and they're like, we go over to a wing, which I ended up being placed on for like 390s. And they're like, this is where it happened. The entire room is the entire unit's locked down.
Right.
And like you could just see like them peeking out of their windows, just like looking out their windows, like 4 sets of eyes,
trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
And we're like, well, what's going on? They're like, well, you need to go search this room. Okay. Well, we go in there, search this room, and like we literally searched that room for like 6 fucking hours. Just tore everything apart.
Jesus.
Dude, no shit. Like we ended up having to take the mattress and like feeling along the seams just to make sure that something wasn't split open and re-sewn.
Really?
Dude, like we had to do a
You all went hard on that bitch, didn't you?
Well, we were ordered to.
Huh.
Because usually a shakedown lasts fucking 5 minutes.
Right, yeah.
3 of those minutes are sitting there just to look good. Like, you walk in a minimum security prison, you walk in, take a glance around, pop open a couple boxes, make sure there's nothing in there. If it looks a little too clean, you kind of like look around, make sure they haven't gotten suspicious. But 90% of the time, it's like, oh, hey, you have property in your other box, which is God, I can't think, a stationary box, I think they called it. I can't remember the exact name for it.
Okay.
But basically the stationary box was only supposed to have like legal documents, paper.
Okay.
That was it. And if they had property in there, like rolls of socks, food, stuff like that, technically it's out of compliance. Get it in your property box. If you can't, throw it away. Blah 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 blah.
Seems
90%. Yeah, 90% of the times you're just kind of like, have they been a douchebag? Nope. Fuck it. like, if they've been cool, you let it go. But if the inmates in a certain room had pissed me off the last time I saw them,
yeah.
Oh man,
Bring down the hellfire.
I had fun. No, I never trashed their room.
Right.
I never did that. I thought that was wrong. I never just like flip mattresses and just fuck shit up because I'm like, you know what? They're already locked up. You know, stressed inmates can and will snap eventually.
Right, yeah.
And destroying their shit's going to stress them the fuck out.
Stressed EMTs will snap eventually too.
Yeah. And so we're in here for like 6 fucking hours and finally somebody popped open a closed, I don't know how they resealed it, a closed box of Cocoa Pebbles. Like just the mini boxes. Remember those from like when you were a kid?
Yeah,
where you, like,
yeah.
You get one of those.
You can get Cocoa Pebbles in prison?
It was a commissary. It wasn't really a Cocoa Pebbles. It was like a knockoff brand.
Okay.
That's basically what it was.
Right.
But popped open the box, and she grabs it and like kind of looks at it, and then she doesn't pull it all the way out of the box, and then kind of looks at it. I'm like, hey, pop open the bottom. She's like, what? I was like, pop open the bottom. She's like, why? I was like, but just do it. So, you know, she puts it back in there. She pops open the bottom, which, I mean, thinking back afterward, I was just like, why didn't you fuck just take the whole thing out?
Right,
But
yeah.
she pops open the bottom, and out falls this little piece of plastic.
Huh.
And in it was this little black dot that you can really see. Now, the plastic was the size of a dime. So we
Right.
unroll it and stuff like that, and we find this little chunk of black tar heroin.
Did the bag
And we're
smell like
like,
shit?
Oh, dude, it smelled fucking horrible.
Well, then I know where it came from.
Yo, dude, believe me, why do you think I was using my shotgun shells? And if anybody doesn't remember that, I used to Ranger roll rubber gloves together so they look like shotgun shells. And I went through probably 6 pairs of gloves that day, man. Like, I was not even, like, if they even, like, some of the shit they would have in there, like, you look at your gloves and start getting, like, this film on them.
Yeah.
And you're like, nope, those are coming off. I don't want to take a chance of, like, it starts degrading the rubber.
It's just acid and fucking eating through it. Yeah.
Found it. One of them, I felt bad for one of them because when she started tripping, she had a bad trip. Like, she had a bad high.
I can
And
only
she's the one
imagine what a bad high in prison would be like.
Well, she confessed. She went to IA because she said, hey, I'm high as fuck right now. I need to get the fuck out of here. Now, granted, I was still a cadet, so I heard this secondhand from the officer on the unit who she approached.
Right.
Because he and I actually became really good buddies. He was something else. I'll tell you a story about him. Anyway, so we go ahead. So he tells me about how she came up to him and she's like, "Yo, I'm high as shit right now." And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're not high." And she's like, "No, I'm fucking high." Like, she's like twitching, looking over her shoulder. She's paranoid as shit.
Yeah.
But she had not had a bad high in a long time, evidently. She forgot that this shit does fucking happen.
Occasionally. Especially if it comes in a prison locker.
And exactly, you're in prison. How did you think this is going to be a good high? Like, really?
Everything's made out of metal. I mean,
Yeah,
fuck
and
you.
they finally got her down to IA, and she confessed everything. She ended up ratting on the person who gave it to her, and they both got moved back to another prison, the max security prison. And I'm thinking to myself, like, the only person I felt bad for in that position was the rat.
Right.
And not because, no, she did the drugs, so she's guilty.
Right.
She didn't have to. She could have said no and just kept her mouth shut. Didn't say a fucking word, so this other girl didn't get in trouble. We would have found out eventually, but
Yeah.
only because minimum security. You don't see too many people smuggling drugs.
Right,
It ain't
yeah.
a max security where it's happening a lot.
Right. Which is funny as fuck, because you would think a max would be harder to get drugs in.
Minimum security, they don't want to fuck up their time.
Right. Yeah.
So they're just not willing to do it.
Huh.
And yeah, because I mean, you got to figure at this particular minimum security, you at one time you had to have less than 8 years. Now you have to have at less than 11. On top of that, you can't have any kind of sexual assault cases. You cannot have any child endangerment cases. You can't have any like DCFS cases opening against you where you're basically being charged with like pedophilia, like anything like that. Like you cannot have any of those cases. Like if you were in there for murder, you had to be on like your last 5. Like they had a list of criteria you had to meet. And so a lot of the people that did 15 to 20 years over in the max state, they were like, no, this is a cakewalk. But then you had all these other little shitheads who were 19 years old.
Right.
Got fucking too many traffic violations, ended up in prison, and they're like, "Golly, this place sucks." I'm like,
it's a lot better than it could be.
Go talk to Hernandez, because in the max state, her roommate got boiling baby oil thrown in her face and melted out one of her eyes.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, that happened. But like, so go talk to her and see if she thinks this place is better. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
But anyway, we find the heroin. I got way off track on that one.
It's okay. Sometimes the train derails. Sometimes it gets back.
But we find the heroin. The only reason I felt guilty is because if you're a rat in prison, it's bad in a minimum security. It is a fucking cardinal sin in a max security.
Yeah.
Dude, I guarantee she got her ass beat every single day till the end of her sentence.
Did you ever see that show 60 Days In?
I've watched it. It's actually pretty interesting.
This season was fucking ridiculous.
Didn't one of the people actually get into a fight and get assaulted really bad?
No.
Because I kind of heard something like I said, I haven't watched this season. So.
He bitch slapped another an inmate though.
Wait, the person on the show?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Was it one of those things where he was like, I can't back down, so I got to do it?
Well, apparently this guy was used to be a gang member. And so when he started in 60 Days In, and apparently now he's like a chaplain or something like that. But since he used to be a gang member, he got in with the Chicanos or something like that and became their enforcer. So somebody stepped up and he just open hand freaking whack.
My Nordic buddy, his dad used to say, any man can punch another man and knock him down. A real test of strength is when you open hand slap that son of a bitch and knock them on their ass.
Motherfucking bitch slap, man. You gotta keep that pimp hand strong,
he's
my
like,
friend.
that'll make him think, do I really want to fuck with this guy?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If somebody smacks you in the face, it's a little more degrading than getting punched. If you get punched, you're in a fight. If you get smacked...
You just got owned a little bit, dude. Yeah. Like, you'd better retaliate.
You can see a little bit of your man card just flying up into the heavens like a spirit.
But anyways, this other inmate, she also smuggled some drugs in, but she got pills. She didn't have anything. I mean, now pills are not good, but she didn't get anything like black tar heroin. She didn't get any coke. She didn't get anything like that. She had her old dealer who posed as her boyfriend coming to visit. Yeah. We quickly figured out how the fuck it happened. She got a bunch of pills smuggled in. Well, this dumb bitch, and I mean that seriously, I'm trying to be an asshole with that one. This dumb broad, she decided she was going to take as many pills as it used to take to get her high.
Oh, good.
And she'd been locked up for over a year.
Oh, good.
For sobriety. No pills. Never had a problem with her before that.
Huh.
So she was like border edge ODing.
Yeah.
Well, she was one of those in your face kind of like a little bit of a shithead types.
Yeah. Dick.
Yeah, we never had a problem with her like trying to cause any fights, but she would fuck with the officers. Never any of the other inmates. She didn't give a shit about the inmates. She fucked with the officers a lot.
Huh.
And it was never anything really bad. She would just talk shit, but she was like towing that line.
Right.
Where you couldn't really write her up for it.
Right, yeah.
But you could tell that she was being disrespectful as fuck.
Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And kind of like if you tried to write her a ticket for it, you would just sound ridiculous on paper.
Right.
Like,
she called me an asshole.
Like, she's a bitch. Lock her up. She is.
Put her in the hole. Something. I don't know.
Weird chicken. That's a real punishment. But
Funny, kind of off. There for a while at one of the services I was working at, one of my military buddies printed off the hurt feelings report form and made a whole bunch of copies.
He told me about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
I love those things, man.
Oh man, I told this one in the year already. My favorite was the ID10T sheets.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yes.
Somebody tried to get me with that, and I was like, no.
You can fuck right off, sir. Yeah. We talked quite a few episodes ago. We were talking about like gear recommendations for like work and shit.
Yeah, I think that was like 5 or 6 episodes ago.
Well, one of my buddies, Ryan, he got on the Facebook group and was asking people what the best boots for summer shifts are and what your opinions are, because your feet get hot in the summertime. You know what I mean? Especially,
I don't have any recommendations because, dude, it does not matter what I get. Like, I've got athlete's foot by the end of the fucking summer, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just pouring sweat inside those boots. By the end of the summer, I've got to get a new pair.
yeah.
Like, I wish I could help. I wish I knew one, but just saying. If somebody does have a recommendation, I could use this information too.
I always go on that the military way of doing things is fucking change your socks a couple of times a day, because
I actually carry socks in my go bag.
Yeah, because if you don't change socks and your feet are wet, doesn't matter what your fucking boots are, they're just going to be sweaty and stinky. It's horrible. I used to powder my feet. Have you ever seen that like anti-monkey butt powder stuff that they sell at like Rule King?
No.
Yeah, they actually have a brand of powder for the summertime called anti-monkey butt powder. They have the male and female version.
No shit.
That shit's pretty rad.
Is it like an antiperspirant powder?
No, it's kind of like Gold Bond, but smells better. Not so
really
80-year-old manish. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get a couple.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Because summer in a foundry. Yep.
Make sure you fluff those nuts, man. That's all I'm saying. As far as boots go, though, I've heard good things about the Under Armour boots. They're lightweight and they breathe really well.
There's actually a pair of boots.
But they're pretty expensive, I think.
There are a pair of boots that I found recently. I want to say they're called like Lottos or something like that. They're designed for I think they were designed for the Navy SEALs, actually, now that I think about it. They were completely amphibious designed military boots,
right?
Where during the presentation that I saw of them, the guy took one, put it on the water, and it floated by itself. That's how lightweight they are.
Damn.
And they're designed to have like these tiny holes in the bottom, so any water that gets in them immediately drains out the bottom. And it's lightweight material and all this stuff. Like they're really cool. I'm gonna have to look up the name and actually we could put the name on with the title or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And but yeah, they're really. I want to say they're called Lottos, and I'm actually looked at them. And I was like, I want to get a pair of those, and I was like, man, they're probably gonna be fucking expensive. So I looked up the price. They're only like $150 for something like that. That'd be pretty badass. Now I don't know how they would work for EMTs or any kind of first responders like that.
I wonder how they would do with a nail. Like if you get in some.
That's actually one thing I'm kind of wondering, because since they are amphibious with those holes in the bottom, that'd be one thing I'd be a little worried about, stepping on something sharp.
Yeah, especially like a fucking car wreck and shit like that.
Yeah,
because you've got debris and glass and God knows what else whenever you go to car wrecks and shit.
Exactly, because I'm kind of wondering how that works. I don't know if there are like filters in it or something like that, where nothing can go in. But only water can go out. I think
that'd be hard to do.
It would be, but I don't know how. They're pretty top of the line designs. I mean,
well, it's kind of like one of my military buddies.
They
said,
have septic pumps attached to the bottom. Like,
one of my military buddies said this one time. He's like, "Yeah, military grade sounds real good until you've been in the military, and then it scares the fuck out of you."
My brother-in-law's a Marine right now.
Right.
And I want to say he's in Japan, but he should be coming home soon, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going shooting with him. And he for one of his like care packages, We ended up sending him socks, brown socks, because he was like, yeah, military issue brown socks. You can get better versions of this at Dollar Tree. I'm like, damn. He's like, they're basically just sad paper.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm like, Jesus.
Yes.
So yeah, we ended up sending him a couple pairs of socks, and yeah, evidently like military issue shit like that. It's just it's not exactly good.
Let's be honest. Military grade means made by the lowest the lowest bidder. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Right. Which is sad to think about. But I've always said, even in the summertime, I love my front zip boots. Like side zip boots are cool or are okay, but they're hard to keep unzipped. If you have front zip boots that you can like just unzip the fronts in and let your foot breathe in the summertime, that's where it's at. That's my ultimate recommendation: is get something that's front zip.
I had a pair of side zip when I was in corrections,
Mm-hmm.
and I was one of the only guys that wore boots there. There's only like 4 people there that wore boots, and most of the guys that did, I want to say 2 of them are ex-military and one of them was an ex-police officer.
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean, the rest of the guys just wore black tennis shoes.
Yeah.
And I was not ex-military, I was not ex-police officer. I was a regular civilian that ended up becoming a correctional officer.
Right.
Yeah. They'll take anyone. But I had a pair, and like I said, dude, I made it through the summer, and then I had to get a new pair. Like they were fucking rough.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother-in-law actually just recently found them on my shoe shelf.
You told this story, yeah.
She put them on, and her foot hurt real bad. And she's like, "It's the only thing I can finally get." She gave me a sport. I was like, "You fucking want them?" She's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Dude, take them." She's like, "Well, you're not gonna wear them." I'm like, "There's a reason they were covered in dust." Like, I don't wear them.
Yeah, I would say just find something lightweight and that breathes, or front zip, so you can keep them unzipped while you're not
And
doing
I
something.
said it during the last time we talked about gear. Don't skimp on insoles, man. Like those will
socks.
save your life.
Yeah.
Save somebody else's, depending on what day you're having.
Right. Going back, I was going to say this earlier and kind of skipping around just a little bit, but
Hey, if we got other shows we need
Bring
to
it
recap
back, bring
on,
it
then
back.
let's do it.
with the full moon thing, every time I was on the rig and it was a full moon, or it was like within a few days of a full moon, man, I feel bad for you guys that are out on the street and I hope that you took a nap this morning because it's going to get fucking crazy. I tell you what, there's been times I've walked into the ER with a patient and every single room is filled on a full moon. It's like,
Dude, man, when I was delivering pizzas, seemed like every full moon, every crackhead in town suddenly had an extra 15 fucking bucks to order a pizza.
yeah. Things get fucking crazy, man.
Jesus. Matter of fact, some of the funnier stories I've told on here happened during a full moon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
I wonder if my ecstasy girl was a full moon. I can't remember.
Here's a random fact of the day for you. It's where the term lunatic comes from.
Lunar. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Fun fact of the day for you.
The more you know. I'm doing
The rainbow.
the rainbow.
The more you
I miss those things. I wish those were still on TV. Those are great.
Yeah, now they'd rather have shows like fucking Adventure Time.
I like Adventure Time sometimes.
See, I think there are a lot
Rick
of...
and Morty's more my
I think
speed.
there are some cool messages in Adventure Time about like the whole like acceptance thing.
Yeah.
I think that is pretty cool. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't stand SpongeBob, and this is even worse.
I am totally looking forward to the new season of Adventure Time, or not. Sorry, Rick and Morty. Whenever they decide they're gonna finally put that out, I love Rick and Morty, man. That's a lot of people think it's just fucking stupid, but that's exactly why I like it, because I don't have to brain.
And for anyone out there talking shit, like, oh, it's just stupid cartoon, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain were fucking stupid.
Ed, and Eddie.
Ed, and Eddie. Like, all these cartoons we grew up watching. And you know what? They were great. Mucha Lucha. That was another one. That was a dumbass show.
What was the
and
one?
I loved it.
What was the one with the guy that was supposed to kind of look like Elvis?
Johnny Bravo?
Yeah, I love Johnny Bravo, dude.
He would not make it on the air in today's
it was
culture.
so good.
Oh, dude, he was such a fucking womanizer, that man.
Yes,
like,
he was.
He
but
would
it was
not
hilarious.
make it on the air now.
Freakazoid, that was a great one. If any of you are young out there, go to YouTube. I don't know if it's on there, but type Johnny Bravo or Freakazoid in there. Watch that for a couple of minutes and tell me that anything that's on the air right now is more stupid.
Or actually, here's one for you: Ren and Stimpy.
I love Ren and Stimpy. Yes, sir.
Ren and Stimpy. Oh god, what was another stupid cartoon that was actually great?
Cat Dog.
That was ridiculously dumb.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Shaolin Showdown was actually kind of stupid when you think back on it.
I never got into it, dude. Never did.
See, I actually watched Shaolin Showdown more than Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I was not a fan of Dragon Ball Z. Unpopular opinion. I did not think it was that great.
But we've talked about this. There's a running theme in this show recently, and it's poop, cartoons, and movies, and then stories.
Touche.
Yeah. But I only liked Dragon Ball Z when we had the full discography of it, so that way I didn't have to wait a week to see somebody screaming trying to power
episodes.
Up. Yeah.
17 episodes of God knows what the fuck's going on.
Right.
But I will say I did have a favorite Dragon Ball Z character.
Did you?
Yes. Because even though I didn't enjoy it as most people, I did still enjoy it enough to watch it from time to time. And the one character I always liked...
You're an anime guy, too.
I am an anime guy. The one character I always liked, I've always gotten made fun of for.
You are a conundrum wrapped up in an enigma.
Why?
All right. For everybody listening right now, Clyde is wearing motorcycle boots, jeans, a gun t-shirt
Yup.
with a plaid overshirt. And 2 episodes ago, he started quoting Eminem at the beginning of the show. He likes anime.
Yeah.
You are a conundrum wrapped up in an enigma.
On the way here, I was listening to hip hop from when I was in high school. Shit like Jason Derulo in my head, and what was another one? I Has Replay. Those are 2 of my favorite songs in the world.
Okay, good songs, but I'm just saying, you're a weird man.
Hey man, I like what I like.
I love you, but you are a weird man.
I like what I like.
All right, continue. Sorry.
Where was I at? Oh, yeah.
Your favorite
yeah,
Dragon Ball Z
Krillin.
character. Krillin?
Yeah, I loved
the
Krillin.
little bald motherfucker?
Yeah. You know why I liked him so much? Every time they had some kind of like championship fight where like they had to like fucking fight who knows who in those shows, Krillin was always in those competitions. Now, granted,
he got his ass whooped all the time.
He died all the fucking time. He was basically Dragon Ball Z's Kenny. He died every season. God,
that's perfect.
Dude, every time they had to find the Dragon Balls, they were like, yeah, can we just have Krillin back? The dragon was like, again? like, Jesus fucking Christ, this kid. Put a leash on him. But no, the reason I liked him so much, because a lot of people overlook this, he was human.
Okay.
He was fighting Super Saiyans, who were aliens whose basic power was every time they lost a fight, they would come back that much stronger.
Right, yeah.
And so you got to give him mad props for being able to stand up to him at least a little bit.
Right.
So,
but he was a little bitch boy too.
Yeah, I mean, he got his ass whooped a lot, and I want to say he fucked a robot, and that was weird. But I know, adult brain watching kids cartoon.
So did Morty, so I can't judge. It's fine.
But yeah, like,
okay,
he's cool. I mean,
all right,
like,
all right. Let me shift from cartoons for a second. Back when John was on all the time, somebody had actually sent us a question about what we thought of the 911 show. It's just called 911.
Yeah, Drew's gonna have to answer this. I am way behind on TV shows.
Have you seen any of the 911 show?
No, I'm not even sure what it is.
It literally follows like two paramedics and an entire fire crew, and then a couple of cops.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly in Los Angeles. I mean, it's not a it's not like a live PD situation. It's a drama, right?
Okay.
But I actually binge watched the first and second seasons, and they should be on season 3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen any of season 3, but binge watched the entire first and second seasons. And originally, whenever they had asked about it, I had said, well, it seems like it would be entertaining, but, I don't know how accurate it is, blah, blah, blah. It's probably just, it's entertaining, whatever. That is correct, but it turned out to be a lot better show than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, they don't do a lot of, treatment shit correctly, but no TV show ever does.
I was going to say, dude, I could watch... I mean, you know how I feel about Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing some of the EMS treatment and shit like that they do, it's that's not, no, you should have hired somebody like me to help you with that. So that way
What was
maybe it would have looked a little more realistic.
Was it Full Metal Jacket? Lee Ermey? I read somewhere that originally he was just brought on to be the actor's coach to make him more realistic.
Right, yeah.
And I guess he called cut one too many times. And the director's like, hey, dude, I'm literally the only person allowed to say cut. And he's like, no, he's doing it wrong. And they're like, just, you do it. And everything he said in those movies was improv. They didn't even give him a fucking script other than some of the more basic stuff that had to be in the movie. But when he was going on a tirade and the most famous Full Metal Jacket scene out there,
yeah,
let me see your war face. I said your war face.
Oh my god,
all of it was improv. The actors were literally laughing and he was screaming at them for laughing. All of it was improv.
Yeah, but the acting in 911's really good. The storyline is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
I would recommend
on a 10-point scale, what
it.
would you give it?
Probably 9.5. We're going to miss 0.5 for not getting certain things right. But all in all, pretty good.
TV show.
Yeah. There's one episode where
just saying, dude. If every TV drama acted out the way Cops did,
yeah,
they wouldn't have much of a show.
Right. I will warn people, if you are kind of like me where you've seen some shit, there are a few trigger moments in it that's that kind of makes me a little depressed.
Yeah.
It's weird, it's weird how TV shows can do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would highly suggest watching it. It's at least entertaining.
There was
on a side note,
go ahead.
Fucking bring back Sirens, the TV show.
I was actually just gonna say that. If you wanted to talk about shows like Sirens or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm right there.
I'm not with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but Sirens.
I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I can't believe they took off Sirens. It was such a good show.
I don't look at Brooklyn Nine-Nine like a cop show that's supposed to be a comedy. It's more of
a comedy that's supposed to be a cop show?
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you can't look at it as these guys are cops that are supposed to be funny. No, these guys are a bunch of idiots that are pretending to be cops. It'll make the show way better. I just can't
get into it for some reason. I've watched some of it, but it's just not in my wheelhouse. I don't know. I have a weird taste in TV shows, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
Because, not everybody's going to like everything, I just wish we could kind of go back to the 90s. There's a lot of good TV shows back then.
Let's put it this way. Another unpopular opinion. This comes down to music taste. I hate them.
Clyde is pointing to my giant Beatles picture that I have.
Cannot stand the Beatles.
Really? Why
Cannot
not?
stand them. Don't know what it is. Now, granted, just like Michael Jackson, I've got a lot of respect for what they've done for the music industry.
Right.
I love music. That's actually one of the first talking points we had when we first met.
Music, yeah.
Music. We were both I'm not gonna say past musicians, but we're both musicians that had life get in the way of making music.
Non-currently functioning musicians.
There you go. And I have a lot of respect for what they've done. Now, I mean, 90% of my favorite bands and just singers in general say, oh yeah, you know, the Beatles or Michael Jackson or somebody like that influenced me very much.
Yes.
But there are also singers that I cannot stand that have said the same thing, and I'm like, I can tell.
I don't know if I've said this before, but do you know what two bands actually got me into playing guitar and singing?
Nirvana and Blink-182.
Yes.
Yep, because they're two of my favorite bands in the world.
Yeah. And you know why they got me into playing?
Quote unquote?
Yeah.
You don't have to be good to be famous.
There you go.
Which is seriously a slap in the face to the musicians.
I'm just saying, man, like Kurt Cobain, not a technical guitarist whatsoever.
Okay, yeah.
And Blink-182,
definitely an artist.
Definitely an artist, but not technical whatsoever. You know, 3-chord progression, that was pretty much it for every one of their fucking songs. Same way with fucking Blink-182.
You leave Mark Hoppus out of this.
Hey, Mark Hoppus is rad, but I'm just saying.
Tom DeLonge, he's gone off the deep end.
Tom DeLonge was fucking hilarious when they first started.
And then he went off the deep end
got hard into, like, aliens and shit.
Yeah.
About the time Angels and Airwaves and Boxcar Racer came out, he was already going a little crazy.
Yeah.
Boxcar Racer, I think, was when the fluid shifted in his brain.
Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I ever told you this, but when you recommended that I look up their newest album, I actually did look it up, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yes, it is really good.
Yeah.
And I think I said this before, too. I believe they did the intro song for Young Sheldon. So
you did tell me that.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not sure if we said it on the air, but I know you told me.
Just a weird little thing there.
We did say it on the air because I was talking about other famous bands that did intros to TV shows.
Yeah.
What was it? Simple Plan did What's New Scooby-Doo back from, like, what was it, early 2000s?
Yep.
What's the Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
We're coming after you.
Simple Plan can suck a dick.
That mystery.
Just saying. They're
Okay, you're hitting me right in my teenage feelings.
that is just not a good band.
Oh, fuck off. I love Simple Plan.
Oh, it was too poppy for me. Okay, let me put it this way. I liked My Chemical Romance, and that's a little too poppy for me.
I was a huge Good Charlotte fan.
Okay.
There was a time...
Their new shit is rad, too.
I haven't really heard any of their new shit.
Uh-huh.
Last thing
when
I
we get
heard
done
from
here,
them,
I'll show you something.
the very last thing I saw from them was when they did that collaboration with MGK. When it was just Benji and Joel. I think they broke off and called themselves the Madden Brothers.
Okay.
And they did a song with MGK. And I'm like, it's not horrible.
Benji and Joel are jacked now. Like they've been hitting the gym.
I was to say they did end up, because I remember listening to them when they first came off with their when they first took off with
spiky hair
with their the self-entitled album.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you open up the I think you actually have it.
I have it.
Yeah, if you open up the book,
yeah,
the info book with it, there are pictures of them. Dude, they make me look buff.
Right.
And I am scrawny.
Not these days.
No.
These days, they, yeah.
One of them was actually dating a Playboy bunny forever ago, if I remember right.
Really? All right,
it was
then.
Benji. I think it was Benji.
See, I never really got into Good Charlotte that much. Like, I got them because I enjoyed a couple of their songs, but then they were too cookie cutter for me.
For me, that was one of the first bands where I started collecting the albums. There was a time where I had every album.
Really?
Mm-hmm. A time.
I was a pirate in college, so I had everything back when I was in college.
I think the last album I had by them was Chronicles of Life and Death. So I mean that explains. I think that was only like album 3. I think there were like 7 now or something like that.
Like, if I know, dude.
That was a long time ago. I want to say I was like 12 or 13.
Jeez, dude. Yep. And it all comes back to music eventually.
Yes. At least it wasn't poop this time. The night is young.
The night's almost over.
Thank
we need to
God. I'm not
fucking
gonna
wrap
lie.
this bad boy up.
Yeah, we've been sitting here for a little over an hour, maybe an hour.
Yeah. I think we just hit an hour.
My wife's probably wondering where I'm at.
So, kids, thank you for joining us for this other brain-damaged hour of Drew and Clyde. We appreciate you coming back. Hopefully, you guys can go on the Facebook group and recommend some boots for Ryan, because he's a pretty rad dude, and he's been on the show before, too. So, and maybe we'll have him back on again sometime soon.
I'd like to meet him.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you, guys. We appreciate it. As always, go send us questions or, feedback, whatever. 107offduty@gmail.com. Or you can get us at 10-7offduty on Facebook and the Twatter. So if you twat us, or whatever the fuck.
Twitter, dude. Tweet.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I am bad at Twitter. In fact, I actually posted that. I'm like, newsflash, I am bad at Twitter. That is all. Please go visit our friends at Medic Element and use the discount code MEDIC18 to buy one, get one free on stickers, and check out their morale patches. Go check out Level Zero and check out their challenge coin, because I want one, and you should want one too. And also get their coffee from Black Rifle Coffee, GCS 16. So go to Black Rifle and use the discount code 107offduty to get 15% off your order. So go get GCS 16 from Level Zero and a couple of mugs and a hat and whatever else you want to get from Black Rifle, because it's fucking delicious. I haven't had coffee in a couple of days. What is wrong with me?
That is weird.
God.
It's just been straight vodka, hadn't it?
No wonder I'm tired. No, funny story. I haven't had vodka in a couple of days because apparently it was all bought out from St. Patty's Day, which apparently who the fuck buys Svedka vodka for St. Patty's Day? That is a confused individual.
Teach their own.
Jesus. All right. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye. Stop yawning.
Sorry.
Bye.